Hello and welcome to Jazz Tonight. I'm Michael Jacobi, executive producer of Jazz on the Plaza and host of Raising the Standards on KSCO Radio in Santa Cruz. Delighted to have you with us as we start to wind down the summer 2019 and our tribute to Chet Baker. Delighted as we get to our next to last week to have in the studio and joining us Roberta Gambarini. Hello, my dear.
Hello.
It's so nice to see you.
Likewise, it's great to be here.
Well, it's great to be somewhere because you've been everywhere in the last couple of weeks. 4 days ago, you're in Geneva, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn your brooch over. It's so pretty.
Oh, thanks.
4 years ago in Geneva, you stopped by the house in New York.
In Brooklyn, yeah.
In Brooklyn.
And then I left for California. I played the San Jose Jazz Festival a couple of days ago.
San Jose,
and,
right.
Now here I am.
And now you're here? Well, we're delighted to have you here.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
You have, from a career standpoint, and continue to a bit of a globe hopper, I guess.
Yeah.
You're born in Turin?
Turin,
Italy.
Yeah.
And you moved to Milan.
Yes.
See,
yeah.
we'll get all my Wikipedia stuff out of the way
Okay.
early. You've played clarinet, right?
Yeah, when I
And
was
then moved
little.
on to piano. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Yeah,
no,
correct.
and then you went. Then you went and did some radio and television.
Oh yeah, I started in Italy when I was very young. I was still in my teens.
Okay.
And so yeah, I was.
And you were doing
had
journalism.
an early start.
So you're doing journalism and announcing on radio and television.
No, I was singing.
Oh, you're singing.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. They had, they had some jazz broadcasts on jazz and television back then.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about growing up. A lot of music in the house.
Yeah, a lot of music in the house because my father was a big jazz fan.
Okay.
He played tenor saxophone, sorry, as a young man, and
Now, was he a musician?
he was a musician when he was in his 20s and 30s, and then times were hard. It was very difficult to make a living as a jazz musician in Torino back then, so he just quit music but remained a big fan and even practiced in the apartment. He remained like an amateur, let's say, and a big fan of the music, and so is my mother. My mother is a big fan of jazz too.
Yeah. Brothers and sisters?
No, I'm an only child.
Only child. So you got a lot of attention then.
Yeah.
Did Grandma teach you the piano, or did you bring an instructor in, or how'd that work?
No. I started with an instructor. I started with piano and clarinet when I was 12. And
Now, did you come? I mean, because so many of us, we were tied up and dragged to music lessons. Did you come to? Since you were 12, you're a little older. Did you come to them willingly and say, "I'd like to learn"?
yeah,
this?
willingly. Also because it was my request. The state of music education in public schools in Italy is not great.
It's not great
for
here
a
either.
country with such a great tradition of music. And so there was no really formal education in public school aside from going to the conservatory, but you had to be a certain age and you had to do only that. And I had a lot of interests. I love to write, I love a lot of kinds of things, a lot of different types of arts. But I really wanted to study music, and so that looked like the best option.
Now, was vocalese in your consideration at that point, or just instrumental?
Well, I started listening to jazz when I was a child, and when I was very, very little, like 4 or 5, of course, I didn't know any of the details of what I was listening to. But I grew up listening to Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross, so I knew Twisted, I knew all this.
Sure.
Then later on, I learned that those were solos of great instrumentalists. So I learned a little bit more about the secrets of vocalese. But I started out listening to it. Sing a Song of Basie. I remember, I loved that album. Yeah.
So, and then when you were young, did you discover and delve into more of the Billy and the Ella?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, the very first album that I listened to was Ella Fitzgerald sings the Duke Ellington Songbook.
Which
That was
is
part
that
of those
wonderful
songbook
Verve series,
yeah. And that was really, but I was really, really little, it's just probably 2, something like that. And after that, you know, I started studying English when I was 4. My parents sent me to...
Now, do your folks speak English?
No.
No,
But
okay.
they realized that I had an inclination towards foreign languages, and I learned to read very early. And so they sent me to the special, you know, class for children who showed inclination for foreign languages. And so when I was very young, still a child, I could hear and understand the lyrics. And so that's when I got into a lot of other great singers, such as Carmen McRae and really Billie Holiday, deeply into Billie Holiday. But my very first love was Ella Fitzgerald, because probably of the magic, and Louis Armstrong.
Did you ever see Ella?
Actually, yes. On her last tour with the Paul Smith Trio.
After she'd already lost a leg.
Yeah. But still, you know,
she was amazing. I saw her with Basie.
Yeah,
She was
you know,
amazing.
it's not only about, with these great artists, it's not only about being, you know, in shape physically or being able to, it's about what they emanate. You know, as soon as she got on stage, there was this aura of, it was about communication, and everybody loved her, and so that's something that...
Sinatra once talked about Mabel Mercer just sitting on stage.
Oh, yeah, on the
Talking
throne.
would be enough. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so special.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about instrumentalists and their solos. You worked a good deal with James Moody.
Yes, actually, James Moody was almost my father. I consider him my musical father, my mentor, my biggest inspiration, and the person who, one of the people who really started me out in this business. It was him and Benny Carter who really started. But Moody was a special person to me, special.
Well, we've got a clip here of a tune you're doing with him. This is Centerpiece, right?
Yeah.
And is Centerpiece a Miles tune?
No,
No,
Centerpiece was a war horse, you know, like a big song for Harry Sweets Edison.
Okay.
And actually, I heard Sweets playing it live in Italy many times, because my parents used to take me to hear jazz concerts when I was very little. They were volunteering at a jazz club in northern Italy, and all these greats would go by. So I saw really Sweets many times at a very close distance.
So this cut is recorded in New York City.
Yes.
But it's with the great...
No, excuse me. This cut was recorded in L.A.
okay.
At Capitol Studios and engineered by the great Al Schmidt. So
And you did it at Capitol.
At Capitol Studios
How cool
in
was
L.A.
that?
It was super cool.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
That's neat.
It was a thrill.
And it's off a CD of yours?
Yes, it's on my first American release. The CD is called Easy to Love.
Easy to Love.
Yeah,
And this is
Easy to Love.
Centerpiece with the great Roberta Gambarini.
The more I'm with you, pretty baby, the more I feel my love increase. I'm building all my dreams around it. Our happiness will never cease. 'Cause nothing's any good without it. And baby, you're my centerpiece. I'll buy a house and garden somewhere around a country road of peace, a little cottage on the outskirts where we can really find release. 'Cause nothing's any good without you, and baby, you're my centerpiece. you do it. Show boop boop you didn't do it, do y'all.
Do do it, dee 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 da da do dee yo do do do. We are
Should do ya do ba weedin' down. Little boy boop you do it, you didn't do y'all.
do do it, dee 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 ooh ooh dee dee dee. Do 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 dee do do dee 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 do well.
But when do ba whoop boop boop you dee I should lead do y'all. We are way dee dee.
Bo do 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 bo do dee dee do 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 bo wee 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 do dee.
Didn't do it, do Every day, every day I have the blues. Every day, every day, every day. I say every day I have the blues. And when you see me worry, baby, it's 'cause it's you I hate to lose. Nobody loves me. Nobody seems to care. Nobody loves me. Nobody. Nobody seems to care. Speaking about bad luck and troubles, you know I've had my share. But the more I'm with you, pretty baby, the more I feel my love increase. I'm building all my dreams around you. Our happiness will never cease. 'Cause nothing's any good without you. And ship booby, diddle bip, booba, we did it, we do we out. Show booba, we didn't we? Should love we.
That is lovely, and what a joy to work with James.
It was a thrill. It was
Yeah.
special, special, special.
Let me just take a quick break to thank our good friends at the Willow Street family of restaurants who are our sponsors. Willow Street, they're marvelous people, and we thank them so very much for keeping not only jazz alive as a sponsor of Jazz on the Plaza, but also for keeping Jazz Tonight alive as our sponsor here. Willow Street, of course, Willow Street Los Gatos, Willow Street Pizza and Tap Room in Willow Glen with 16 beers on tap, big screens, the full Monty. Main Street Burgers, the home of the Better Burger, both in Los Gatos and Willow Glen. Here's a little peek behind the scenes of Willow Street, and we're back with Roberta Gambarini. Reminds me, I need to get a beer. Somebody point that out. Hey, first of all, I want to say real quickly to the folks at Sonoma Graphics who each year do this wonderful backdrop for us. And you were a big Chet Baker fan.
Yeah.
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 And Chet Baker, am I right, was big in Italy?
Yes, actually, Chet Baker was a big star in Italy in the 50s and early 60s. And he left really a mark because he played with a generation of musicians, of Italian musicians, and he taught and influenced a lot of musicians
And
there.
did he sing in Italian?
Yes, he sang a lot of songs in Italian. He played on a lot of soundtracks for
A lot of films,
movies. You know, he worked with Ennio Morricone.
Okay.
And actually, he's also featured as an actor in one of the movies. It was kind of a B-series movie, very popular, called Urlatori alla sbarra. It was like a sort of a rebels without a cause, but a little lower level of.
Well, he had that
movie,
Sergio
but-
Leone kind of villain look late in life.
Late, very late.
Yeah.
But no, in this movie, he was young and gorgeous.
Oh, great
you know.
looking guy,
And
yeah.
he sang in this movie. Actually, you can see it on YouTube. In this movie, he sings an amazing song, which is like an Italian standard called Arrivederci, a song by Umberto Bindi. And he sings this, but you know, he sang a lot of Italian songs. And
Did he speak Italian?
I don't think he spoke great Italian, but you know, he went by and he even said a few words, and he says "Arrivederci" with a big accent in the song. And
Now, you sing in several different languages.
yeah,
How many?
I sang in French, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian. Yeah, I sing in
And do you speak all
different
of them?
language. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You know ABBA sang, they did it phonetically, did you know that?
No,
ABBA didn't speak English.
no, no.
So
I
all their
didn't know
hits
that.
were done, they had no idea what they
Oh,
were singing.
really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Didn't know
I
that.
hope that doesn't screw up Mamma Mia for anybody.
But yeah, Chet Baker was very, very important in
Yeah.
Italy. And not only in the 50s, but also later, throughout the 80s, he was in Italy a lot, and worked with Nicola Stilo, who was a great flautist and guitarist. And I actually saw Chet perform when I was a
Really?
teenager. Yeah. Yeah, he was very much appreciated
Yeah.
in Italy.
Yeah.
He used to sing. He loved to sing a lot towards the end of his
Talk
life.
a little bit about, as we were talking about your whirlwind last couple of weeks, performing in Europe. What is your favorite kind of venue? I know you're going back to do Blue Note in New York.
In New York, yeah.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump from
Yeah,
your place in
yeah.
Brooklyn, which apparently you never leave.
It's close with the subway. Like,
That's true.
Like
But
half hour on the subway.
what venues do you like in Europe?
In Europe,
Yeah.
you know, Italy has a lot of nice festivals. I just played a beautiful festival in Spain, in San Javier, and that was great too. Yeah, I like Southern Italy. North Sea Jazz Festival is always a great place.
Now, is that the one in Wales?
No,
What-
North Sea is in Rotterdam.
In
It used to be
Rotterdam.
in The Hague. It's in
Okay.
Holland.
Isn't there one in Wales?
There's one that's called Brecon.
Maybe
Brecon,
that's it.
Brecon Beckons, I think. That we played years ago with the Dizzy Gillespie All Stars
cool.
Big Band.
How
Yeah,
cool.
it's beautiful. Yeah.
So people want to find out more, obviously, for those of you folks that were at the concert tonight, which hasn't happened yet, but will by then. It's kind of a
Soon.
time warp. How can they find out more about you? Can you? How many albums? How many CDs do you have?
I have a bunch of CDs under my name. I have the American release is the one that got nominated for the Grammy, are Easy to Love.
Okay.
I have a duet album with the great Hank Jones called You Are There. And then I have So in Love, who also got another Grammy nomination.
So in Love, which is the marvelous Cole Porter tune.
Cole Porter song, yeah.
Is that from
I
Kiss
love
Me
it.
Kate?
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
And notice how I just sneak in my musical knowledge, whether I need to or not. You referred to your Italian recordings. Can you get those?
You can get those.
Can they buy them on your website?
My website is under reconstruction, so
Okay.
in a few months you'll be able to. After September, early
Okay.
October, I'm
All
going
right.
to launch the new website. But yeah, actually there is some work that I did in Italy, some Italian songs on lyrics by a poet
Okay.
by the name of Alda Merini. So I had a few different things I did in Italy too. And I also have a lot of, not a lot of, but a bunch of participations to CDs that came out in the US. One was Our Delight. It was a CD of James Moody and Hank Jones. And then I recorded with the Dizzy Gillespie All Stars Big Band. So there's different different things out there.
What have you got on the bucket list that you've always wanted to do that you're kind of moving toward?
Yeah, I have a lot
Let me
of-
ask you, is there a tune that you've never done because you thought you weren't ready to do it from an age standpoint, maybe?
Yeah, there are many.
I mean, the tune "Lush Life" comes to mind. That
It's
as,
odd
you know,
because I have a certain relationship with Lush Life. This is a song that I adored when I was very, very young.
Right.
And actually, I started singing the song when I was young. Maybe some could say too young to really sing it, but I love it. And this is a song that stayed with me throughout the years, and I think I will always sing it. I don't know what it is.
And
It's
Billy
like
Strayhorn was 16 when he wrote it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Billy Strayhorn, by the way, is my favorite composer. But that song had some kind of magic.
it does.
It almost like it. It's so beautiful that you don't have to do anything. Just let the song be. Not interfere with the beauty of the song. So.
Let's talk about something that you haven't gotten around to recording yet that you'd really like to.
Yeah, actually, I have a lot of projects.
Okay.
So I haven't gotten around, but I'm moving towards them.
All right. Good.
And the first one is a project that we have already started, but we have to finish it because of all the, world travel that we both do. Is an album of boleros with the great Chucho Valdés, the great Cuban piano player. That's something that really, really I wanna put out, and I'm working towards it. And then also looking forward to an album in duo with the pianist Jeb Patton.
Okay.
We have recorded already an album in duo, but it's a special edition that only came out in Japan, so we want to do more recordings in duo. And then an album where I play with not a big band, but like a combo band, but also features some of my favorites, some of my closest horn playing friends from the big bands, such as Steve Davis. I want to record with him, and other great horn players.
Well,
So-
the website will be ready in September, God willing.
Yes, yeah, early October. It's almost
And,
finished.
and she's ready tonight. And I must tell you, for the last, since the last 10, 15 years, you have been a mainstay on my radio program.
Oh,
and
thank you
I
so
have
much.
been
I
an admirer of
appreciate
yours for a long time.
I
We
appreciate it.
finally met a couple of
Yeah.
years ago at Monterey Jazz.
Yeah.
And I said, we want you to come to Los Gatos. And here you are.
That's
And
great.
delighted to have had
Thank
you
you
here.
so much. I hope
Thank
to
you.
see you in Monterey, because I'll be there.
Well, I'm going to
this year.
introduce you this year in
Great.
Monterey.
So I'll
So
be
I'm
there
there.
in
I'm going to
duo.
make a habit of introducing
Yeah,
you.
great.
As we said, like speed dating.
Awesome.
Roberta Gambarini, what a joy. It's good to have you here. That's Jazz Tonight. Next week, we're going to wrap it up for the season. And as is our wont, we always love to do a big party the last day of the year. Last year, we closed with Pete Escovedo. This year, we close with a tribute to James Brown and the Funky Godfather. And I know you'll feel good. I know that you will now. Until next time, I'm Jacobi. Take care.